तुम्हारी बेटी के अंदर एक भयानक आत्मा है।
मैं जानती नहीं, मैं जानती नहीं हूँ।
दिल की धड़कनों को तेज करने वाली एक दहशतनाक तस्वीर।
The movie opens with a man tied up inside a cage in a large cave, with a tantric and his disciples surrounding him. Just then a witch comes as a lovely young woman and enters the cage. She removes the bat locket from her neck, transforms into a ferocious form, and kills the guy. Now the scene shifts to Thacker's mansion, where the villagers have brought the dead body of that man. They tell him that they have found the fourth corpse in the wilderness far away from the village. Here a man tells that a woman roaming in the lonely lanes of the forest has done this. They call her a witch. Hearing this, Thacker's brother Samir says that witches and devils are just superstitions. But one man says that some years ago when he came to the village from a nearby city, he lost his way and wandered off into the jungle, where he saw a young girl. She later turned into a bat and attacked him on the face. Hearing this, Samir decides to go on a witch hunt. Now Samir is preparing to leave when Thacker gives him an holy and then wishes him good luck while giving his blessings. Shortly after, as Samir is passing through the forest, while driving his car he meets a beautiful young woman. The woman car, and they arrive at the old mansion which is located behind the lake in the forest. She invites him to spend a night with her in the mansion, after which she takes him to her bedroom, where she starts seducing him. Samir uses his clever seductive tactics and gets the lady to bathe with him in the bathtub, then diverting her attention by pretending to be physically intimate with her. He snatches the bat locket from her neck. The lady then starts transforming into the hideous witch Nikita that she really is. Samir tells her that he knew she is a witch, after which she proceeds to attack him. But he renders her weak and helpless by holding a holy in front of her. After this, Samir brings her to the village where she is tied up. Seeing her, the villagers were very angry and were demanding to kill her, after which she is hanged to death on the orders of Thacker. Next, we see the tantric and some of his disciples who secretly come at night to take away the body of Nikita. That tantric tells her that only her body is finished but her soul is in his possession. He will give her a new body and that will be Thacker's daughter. Now one day Samir is going to drop his niece Jasmine to her boarding school, when their car breaks down in the middle of the forest. Samir sees that the car has overheated, so he asks Jasmine to wait in the car for him and leaves to fetch some water for the radiator. But then Tantric comes there, seeing which Jasmine gets very scared. He makes her unconscious with his powers, and then cut a few strands of her hair and starts chanting something while wrapping the hair on doll. After this, we see the statue of Satan, which is worshipped by the Tantric and his disciples. Here the Tantric puts the doll in a glass bottle and puts it in Nikita's coffin, and only then Jasmine's eyes open. She gets out of the car in a hypnotized state of mind and walks over to the shrine. Meanwhile, Samir comes back with the water tin and is shocked not to find Jasmine in the car. She walks inside the devil's lair and comes to a standstill in front of the witch's coffin. In a shocking moment, the witch reaches out and pulls Jasmine over inside with her. Samir tries to save Jasmine but is late in opening the coffin. By that time, the witch's evil spirit had already managed to enter Jasmine's body, and she tells him that he can never kill her. Samir then is badly outnumbered by Tantric's men and he is shown to be captured and killed. The Tantric now brings Jasmine back to Thacker's mansion, where he tells him about the death of his brother due to a violent storm in the forest. Then Thacker requests the Tantric to stay back as the caretaker of his daughter, since he has saved his child's life. Later Samir's wife Preeti sees Jasmine staring at the fish tank, and all of a sudden it explodes. She gets very shocked seeing this and talks to Thacker regarding the weird changes in Jasmine, and tries to convince him to get some witch doctor to treat her. However, the witch, who's possessed the child, overhears this. Now that night Preeti goes to Jasmine's room and asks her to sleep, but sees that blood is coming out of her husband's photo. Now as Jasmine turns towards her, she gets very scared and starts running from there, but witch closes the door. Hearing her screams, Thacker comes there but is unable to open the door, and after some time the door opens on its own. Thacker sees that Preeti was dead hanging from the fan. Horrified by this incident, Thacker then decides to send his little niece Sahila to Mumbai to stay with her grandmother. Now the movie is forward 12 years where Thacker is reading a letter. Thacker informs Tantric that his niece Sahila has topped her exams, and he's planning to call her to Chandon Nagar to spend her summer vacation at the mansion. Next, we see Jasmine, who has grown up into a stunningly beautiful young girl, who spends most of her time alone locked away inside her bedroom. Tantric directs one of his faithful servants, Zimbaru, who is as huge as a giant, to kidnap the niece Sahila, so that she would not reach her ancestral home. Now Zimbaru attacks Sahila on the way, but a guy named Hemant reaches there to help her and he starts fighting with Zimbaru. He somehow defeats Zimbaru and saves Sahila. He then tells Sahila and her cousin Sadish that he is looking for work, on which Sahila asks him to accompany them to Shandanagar, and says that she will get him work in his uncle's factory. On the other hand, we see that Jasmine has been possessed by that witch and she starts breaking the stuff inside her room. Thakur asks his servant Raghu to break the door, and when they get inside, Jasmine is lying unconscious on the floor. Now the doctor comes to check on Jasmine, and when she regains consciousness, she does not remember anything. Later, Thakur tells the doctor that Jasmine's condition has been such for 10 years, to which the doctor tells him that she may need mental treatment. Next we see Jasmine at a gas station where she asks a man to fill the tank. Now seeing Jasmine, he starts trying to impress her. After talking to him for a while, Jasmine asks him to come over at the old mansion located behind the bank of the lake that night. Here Raghu was watching all this. Now in the night, Jasmine brings that man to the same mansion, and they both drink there. In a short time that man gets completely drunk, and then both of them start getting intimate. After some time around midnight, the man gains consciousness and wakes up, and sees that Jasmine is staring at him and not moving her eyelids at all, which scares him a lot. He tries to run away but again falls on the bed. After this, Jasmine gets up and goes towards a box and opens it. But when she picks up the dagger kept in it, she has turned into a witch. After this, she takes the dagger and starts moving towards the man, seeing whom the man screams in fear, and then she kills him. Then Jasmine hastily returns home in the darkness, but Thakur sees her. Now Sahil comes to Thakur's mansion, who is very happy to see her. She introduces him to Hemant and he tells Thakur that how he saved Sahil's life. Here Thakur gets impressed with him and gives him the job of looking after his factory. Then Sahila asks him about Jasmine and goes to meet her, which upsets Thakur a bit. Now Sahila hears some strange sound in Jasmine's room, and suddenly Jasmine comes there, which scares Sahila. On the other hand, the police find the dead body of the man, but no one in the village recognized him. Raghu then tells Thakur that he recognizes the man and that he had seen him with Jasmine. Then we see that one evening Jasmine is wandering alone in the wilderness when a drunkard stops his car near her and asks her if she needs a lift. Jasmine sits in his car, but on the way he sees that Jasmine's feet is turning upside down. Seeing that, he gets very scared, and when he looks at her, she had turned into a witch, after which she attacks him and kills him. Now one night Sahila is sleeping with Jasmine when she wakes up after hearing some sound. She sees that Jasmine is sitting on the swing chair and her face looks strange, due to which she comes out of the room in fear. Then Hemant comes there, to whom Sahila tells everything, after which he takes her inside the room and sees that Jasmine is lying on her bed and is acting strange. Next we see Jasmine with the doctor where she looked normal. Here the doctor conducts a psychiatric session with her. Under hypnosis, Jasmine recounts the incident in her past and she transforms into a completely different person. Her voice changes and she threateningly vows to kill everybody from Thakur's family. The doctor gets very scared by this and immediately calls and tells Thakur about this. But Thakur does not believe him. But later, when the doctor makes him listen to Jasmine's recording, Thakur gets very upset. Now he tells the doctor that 10 years ago Jasmine once returned from the wilderness, and since then she has changed completely. The doctor tells her that he will treat Jasmine and she will be completely fine, on which Thakur asks him to stay here for a few days and treat Jasmine. Now we see the shadow of the witch in the night, after which Raghu sees her in his room, which makes him very scared. Hearing his scream, the doctor comes to his room, to which Raghu tells that he has just seen a scary witch in his mirror, on which the doctor advises him to stop smoking weed. Next we see Hemant, who hears a song. He follows that voice and reaches Jasmine. Now Jasmine starts seducing him too and tries to take him towards the old mansion. But then she sees the doctor, who is watching them. Soon after that she disappears from there, leaving both Hemant and the doctor shocked. Now the doctor is sleeping at night when he wakes up after hearing a strange sound. He comes up following the sound and sees smoke coming out of Jasmine's room. He comes inside and sees that Jasmine is sitting on a chair, after which the lights start flickering, and as she turns, she has turned into a witch. Seeing which the doctor gets very scared and leaves the room. He tries to warn Thakur but he refuses to believe him, so the doctor flees from there to save his life. While the doctor is driving his car at a breakneck speed through the old village lanes, he notices that his car's brake is not working. He then bangs on a tree and stops right in the middle of the lonely forest. The witch, who is lying in wait for him, suddenly comes out from the dark shadows, and while the doctor is barely conscious to look at her with wide shocked eyes, pierces his body and brutally kills him. After this, Raghu comes to Thakur and tells him that the doctor has died. He was very scared and tells Thakur that he will not go to the mansion and will sleep here in the factory. Next, we see the tantric who is going out of the house at night when 𝐻𝐿 sees him. Raghu, on the other hand, is alone in the factory at night when the dogs start barking. Raghu gets a little scared seeing this, and in no time the witch starts attacking him. She ties him with ropes and starts the woodcutting machine, and cuts him with wood. 𝐻𝐿 then tells seduce and 𝐀𝐿𝐒 that the tantric often goes out of the house at midnight, and he will follow him tonight. They both chase him to the ruins but get captured. And here they come to know that the one who was living as Jasmine's caretaker for so many years is actually a tantric, who worships Satan. Here the tantric reveals that he did all this to take revenge on Thakur. And we see that Samir is actually alive and in his captivity. Here the tantric tells Samir that today is the new moon night and he killed 𝐁𝐿𝐒 exactly 15 years ago. He tells him that he will sacrifice Jasmine today and 𝐁𝐿𝐒 will get alive again. Seduce, in a twist of events, reaches the ruins and rescues all of them. Now, Samir goes straight home to his brother with the children. Thakur is thrilled to see his dear brother hale and hearty. Then 𝐂𝐿𝐒 and 𝐻𝐿 relate the story of Tantric's plots, and Samir informs his brother of the plan that helped the tantric make the witch's evil spirit possess Jasmine, and turn her into a living nightmare. In the meantime, Tantric plans to kill Jasmine so that the witch can be reborn and attain immortality. He takes her from the mansion to the devil's lair and prepares her for the sacrificial ritual. But Jasmine's family reaches there and Thakur stops Jasmine from jumping into the fire. Then, the tantric gets his disciples to attack them, but they face them fiercely. And during this time Thakur takes out the bottle from 𝐁𝐿𝐒's grave which had the doll inside. He is about to break it when Tantric stops him and tells that as soon as he breaks it, 𝐁𝐿𝐒's soul will leave his daughter. But he will die. Here Thakur decides to give his life to save his daughter and throws the bottle on the statue of the devil, destroying both the bottle and the statue. 𝐁𝐿𝐒's spirit escapes from inside Jasmine, but Thakur dies. But then they see that the witch has got her spirit back in her own foul body. Now she starts moving towards them to attack them. But then Samir shows holy 𝐿 in front of her, which scares the witch and she disappears from there. Then he kills the tantric with the 𝐿, and as soon as he dies, the statue of Satan also falls and holy 𝐿 gets buried under it. Now the witch starts attacking them again. But Samir takes out holy 𝐿 with the help of 𝐻𝐿, and locks the witch back in her coffin. Then the Thakur family and all the villagers take the coffin to the temple of Lord Shiva. The coffin is carried inside the temple where Samir unlocks it with 𝐻𝐿's help. The witch comes out of it and to her horror finds herself in front of the Holy Lord. She writhes in pain, tries to run away, but loses all her power and falls to the ground. Within some moments, she burns away and gets destroyed by the pure impulse of the Almighty forever. And the movie ends here. Thanks for watching!